Now that we've concluded our series on the letter from Birmingham Jail, I wanted to kind of share some of my bibliography or some other recommended reading if you're interested in taking this idea further. One of the books that I used in my study was The Gospel of Freedom by Jonathan Reeder. It is an actual exploration of the letter itself and a discussion of its background, its influence, and also the middle section is a commentary on the letter itself. Another book I used was A Stone of Hope by David Chappelle, Prophetic Religion and the Death of Jim Crow. He talks about, he's the one who really argues that the civil rights movement is kind of the third great awakening in the United States, talks about its religious influence uh, and its religious power. Of course, as further reading, you can always read the writings of Dr. King himself. There's a great big volume of all of his writings called A Testament of Hope that's good to have on your shelf. And just in the larger context of talking about race, the African American religious experience, Black liberation theology, there's, of course, the great book God of the Oppressed by James H. Cone, great classic that's been deeply influential on myself and many other people. I didn't use this in our study this time, but I've used it often in the past and would recommend it if you're interested in these topics. In recent a year or so ago, Dr. Cone came up with had a new book that was really fantastic, The Cross and the Lynching Tree. I highly recommend this, one of the best books on the cross I've ever read. If you want the perspective, a female African American perspective, one possibility is Monica Coleman's Making a Way Out of No Way. And then a year or so ago, two books came out, both talking about the racism that is inherent in modern Christian theology. The first of those I read was Race, a Theological Account by J. Cameron Carter. This is a pretty dense book, and so you have to be willing to read some dense theology and philosophy. And then the other was Willie James Jennings' The Christian Imagination, Theology, and the Origins of Race. And though they have slightly different perspectives, they both argue that American racism is rooted in modern Christian theology, and that Christian theology needs to expunge the racism that is very inherent in its theological doctrines. And there's really fascinating insights in both of those works. So these are what I used for this particular study. Further reading if you're interested in some of these topics.